Just making sure. Let's double check everything. Nope, turn that off. Skip my own ads. Whoa, why do I look all squished? Hey, what's up, Ginger? Give me a high sign that you can hear me. Can you hear me? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Oh, and I'm also going to be responding from my other account, by the way. I do want to switch one thing. Why? That's weird. When I look at it here on the screen, everything looks squished. It's very strange. I think my aspect ratio is off. Hold on, let's see. I'm super soft. You're good. You just need to raise your volume, Ginger. I got like a million devices around me right now, so if you see me looking in multiple different directions, it's because I've got the big monitor over here. I'm just trying to readjust to accommodate everything. I got my big monitor over here. I got the laptop monitor. I've got the iPad over here, which is really just doing music. I've got the big dog camera right there, in case I want to record anything. So, and it's gonna be, there might be a little bit more reverb in here than normal because of where I'm at. I'm in the studio obviously today, squished. It's all the way up. I'm a little quiet. I wonder, let's see. Can you hear the music at all? Well, not right now because the song just switched. I am squished. Why am I squished? Video. Probably not. It should be right. Output, scale resolution. That's right. Let's see. I'm not sure where to adjust my audio on OBS, like, or if I can adjust my if I can adjust my volume. Maybe I can. Oh wait, here maybe. Let's see. Click OK. Test. Yeah, I am. Let's see. Does that work? Test. Did that get a little bit better? Yeah, the squishiness is just gonna have to stay until now. But I'm a little bit thin in the face than normal. What's up, David? Sorry, I didn't give a proper hi. So we're gonna be on for a little while. Basically what I'm doing here is I am creating it's going to be a logbook, as you can see up on the screen, strength training tracker and logbook, because pandemic is obviously it's you know, we're starting to loosen restrictions here in Southern California, and we can finally get back to going to the gym, which I have been going for the last couple of days, and I want to get serious about it because, you know, just like everybody else, I put on a little bit of a COVID-19 myself, and so get back to the gym, get back to fighting weight, and I want to be able to track my progress. And I could easily go and buy a tracker, and that would be, you know, super easy. I could just go to Amazon right now, go buy one, but because I can design them myself, might as well design my own, right? And yeah, so So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to design one today, start to finish. I'm probably going to start with the interiors, as you can already see here, and then work my way into the cover at the end. So. Yeah, well, the thing about it is, it's with the pandemic, it's like I'm noticing all these other places, like what was it, like Jersey, and some other places are starting to have a resurgence again, and I think it's just like it's one of these things where we like things start to come down and we get a little bit more lax, we get a little bit more casual. People are going to spring break. Like I'm totally wondering if you're going to see places like, like the Carolinas or Florida or Texas, like St. Padre Island or whatever. You're going to start seeing a boom in stuff after spring breaks start happening. People are going to all the different basketball games now for the March Madness. So I wonder if we'll start to see some rise in all of that, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Sorry, I'm just itching the ear. So yeah, so screen's a little weird. I don't know why. I'm not sure why, but whatever. It is what it is. So one of the things that I wanted to do, and I'm going to switch this up real quick. That's weird. Why isn't it showing? Why aren't you showing what I'm supposed to be? Hold on. Oh, that's because why? Sorry, that's my fault. That's totally my fault. I was like, why is it showing my screen? That's because that was the wrong page. That's what I wanted to look at. Okay, so the inspiration I had for this is I've been a big fan of Blue Note Records for a long time, and I just love I love music, but I also love the design of some of these things. These labels, most of these are created by a designer by the name of Reed Miles. He was their head designer all through the 50s and 60s, and a little bit into the 70s, I think. And so a lot of these really classic designs, like very grid-based, very Swiss-oriented Bauhaus style. He was a big proponent of that. But I really enjoy how he would break the grid quite a bit. Like here's a perfect example. Like you have this very clear-cut grid to what he's doing here, except for this part right here, right? Breaks the grid. And even up here, like still on the grid, but it's breaking the grid in the sense that he's pushing that Jackie McLean to the to line up here as opposed to here, which is it's just not something you normally see in a lot of grid design, right? Or this one's a classic. I love this. He's just got this kind of organic shape here, and then the Herbie Hancock, the picture. It's supposed to be a piano, right? Because he's a pianist, right? And I said pianist, cut it out. And so there's all these different names in here, right? Super on grid, super on point, and this stuff is a little bit off grid, but yeah, I just like that. I just like the organic shape there. This is a classic, very simple, very basic. And so that's kind of what I'm going for here. And you can see a lot of the images are monochrome or black and white, and then colorized. I dig that a lot. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. If you guys get a second, let me just go back here for a second. I want to go over here. If you guys get a second, just give this sucker a thumbs up for me. Go ahead and hit this live for a thumbs up. That'll help it get the attention of the other people that might be out there trying to figure out what to do next with their time, and let it do this. Anyway, so back here. I'll probably jump back over there in a minute, but we'll be going back and forth. So anyway, strength training logbook. I just want to show you, like, I know I said start to finish in the title and whatnot, but I was actually, this portion right here, where it's the actual, this is just the exercise list, and this is going to be in the front of the book, as you can see over here in the, on the, you know, the pages here. I've got the front, this page right here, and then I've got, you know, this second set of pages. This took a long time. It took a long time. And the reason it took a long time, and this is an interesting thing about grid, these are all, essentially, these are, what do you call them? They're graphs, right? Or grids, or tables. These are all done in tables. And when you do a table, so I'm going to come over here to this page real quick, and I'm going to create a new table. Right? And it starts building out as you start to pull across, right? And then you can readjust and do all this and do, you know, other things. You want to add more columns or rows, you can do that by pulling here. And by the way, I'm working in Affinity Publisher if anybody's interested in that. So you can add rows this way, you can add columns this way, and you can also, if these are too wide or tall, you can just pull that center one there and it'll shrink them down like that. Or go this way with it, right? And then you can readjust. Now you can also come in here. Oops. I guess you got to be highlighted. You got to be on the one highlighting, and you can move them individually like that. And then once you have data in there, you can also double click and it will resize or whatever. So you can also do merge cells and all this other stuff. You can sort the data by all these different things, and you can, if you combine a couple of cells together, you can merge cells and you have one cell like that. And that's all cool and all. The problem that I was running across, and this is something that is common in Adobe InDesign, is that when I had all this data as one particular list, right? In fact, you can see it here off the pasteboard here. This is all one list, and they are connected, right? The page flow is connected. When I copied the whole list and tried to paste it into, well, here, let me just show you. I only need 3 columns. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Let's do 3 columns. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Nope, let's darn it. Getting a little bit touchy for me today. Right. Let's add some more. Shrink them down a little bit. Add some more. Just so you can see what's going on. This is just a quickie. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select all of this, and I'm going to copy it. And everything is set up with tabs. And so the tabs will automatically, anything that is tabbed, like if you look here, I'm going to zoom in here. So this max start and max end, that's all done through tabs. And when you do that, those tabs will automatically populate into these spaces. So if I go like this, and I go select all into this particular graph or table, and I go Command V, everything works, right? Look, it looks great, except it just kept moving down the page, moving down the page, moving down the page. I mean, it's literally this long, which I obviously don't need. So I'm going to come up here and drag it all back up, right? But where'd my extra data go? What happened to it? I can't, you know, like when I have, I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to delete this box over here, just so you can see. So you can see right now, there, it tells me right here, that little red arrow right there tells me that there's extra data to be had. And so if I click that, right, and then come over here and drag another box, it starts just automatically populating that other box. I don't have that function here. For some reason, I don't have that. Like, it should just be the same thing, where it does a little red dot, and I should just be able to drag and create a new one. It would just extend through. But it doesn't do that. All it does is it will only fill the space that you have available. Now, obviously it filled all the way down, but I can't split it, right? So it's like, now I have to go back and say, okay, well, I stopped at inverted rows on this back exercises, so now I gotta go back up here. Where's back exercises? inverted rows. Okay, now I got to figure out how to copy the rest of it and paste that in, and then copy whatever's left and paste that in, and it's just a mess. So I had to essentially format I had to format this entire table first to the size that I wanted, right? And get it all set up and get it all aligned, and then paste the stuff into it, and then go back and edit all the, all the type styles and all that. And as you can see, even that, like, this type is different than that. I haven't quite finished that yet. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to talk about. I didn't do it all because I wanted to have something to talk about here. I should check, make sure nobody's saying anything. Okay, we're all good. Okay, thumbs up. We're all good. So this is going to be a little bit inside baseball. People who aren't into the nuances of design probably going to be like, I have no idea what he's talking about. And so, Ginger, I fully respect if you don't want to hang out. Because, or you just want to let it ride while you're off doing your thing. So, now let's talk about this page. As you can see, I've got a little kettlebell here because I was going to use kettlebell for some reason. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it now, but I have that little kettlebell there. And, going back to what I was saying about why I'm doing this, right? So I can make this myself and have it for myself. And I can just, if I go and buy it from Amazon, then I make a little bit of money on it, right? Because I'm giving myself credit, which would be weird. Why would I do that, right? But I can make them myself, and I can get my own for pretty inexpensive. The other side of it is that if I share it with other people, they can go buy it, right? And I'm going to make it pretty cheap for people. I think my cost, the minimum cost to just produce it is, if I wanted to make no profit whatsoever, the minimum cost is like $4 or $5 roughly. That's before shipping or anything like that. So if I made it 10, they take the cost that it makes it, they minus the cost of how much it costs to make, right? The actual printing cost. They take that off the top, and then we split the remainder, Amazon and I. And the remainder is, I think the split is a 60-40 split, meaning I get 60, they get 40. Don't quote me on that, but that's basically what I think. Now I chose a size, you can see it's 5x8. And if you go here, let's go back over here for a second. Go to OBS. I'm gonna bring this up. This is the print options for Amazon KDP. And if you look at their print options for book sizes, you can do custom sizing for this stuff anytime you want, or any size you want. If you do weird ones, then they charge you a little bit more for that. But there's quite a variety here. Now, I was hoping to get something more like this size, this is Field Notes by Huion and Associates and Eric Draplin. This is that size. It's fits in your back pocket. There's other books like that. Like I can't think of the name of the other one, but the French Canadian one that does the same thing. But anyway, I like these because they're small and they do fit in the back pocket. But they don't have that size. If you look here on the screen, the smallest size they have is 5x8, which is a little smaller than a half sheet of standard letter paper. So that's kind of what we're going with here instead. It's not what I ultimately want, but it's what I'm willing to go with. And I'm not doing very many pages because the way I want to do this is I just want to have these first few pages. Let's get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. And then all these other pages are going to be log pages. And so it'll be, essentially, I'll show you an example of one that I showed here. Do this again. We'll go up here. Here's a log page. I was just using this as an example for myself. Like several exercises, and this would be a single day rather. So like, today would be Friday. I put Friday, the date or whatever. And I would log all the different exercises that I did for the day. And this is probably an excessive amount for the average individual. I can't imagine somebody doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different exercises in a particular day, unless they were only doing like 1 or 2 sets per. Most people do 3, 4, 5 sets, right? And so that kind of workout right there, that would, if you did 50 different sets, 10 exercises, 5 sets each, you'd be at the gym all day long. And then cardio on top of that, right? So, yeah. So it's excessive, but it gives people more flexibility. So that's kind of what I'm going for here for the daily pages. And that's where it's going to go on this page right here. Yeah, so that's what we're going on. Now I'm keeping this, I'm using a typeface. I'm using Futura as my typeface. You can see like throughout here, if I go up here, Futura medium. I think, let's go back here. I want to see if I even have, I'm going into my type organizer, for lack of a better term. Futura. I feel like this may cause a conflict, but we're gonna give it a shot. Because I have my own version of Futura, which has more typefaces than the standard Futura that's on my computer. You only live once, so let's hopefully it doesn't cause a conflict and shut down my machine. Because I have to. The one thing you don't do on any computer is you don't have all your fonts active at any given time, because it's really going to eat up your RAM if you do that. So. Let's try that again. Did it come through? Oh, there we go. So it came through. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. So now I have all of these, and regular is really what I want as inventory. It looks like regular narrow. That's weird. Is that medium? Oh, okay. I guess that is medium. It's funny that it's not coming up a particular typeface or size though. Weird. It's so weird. I haven't set up any of my, like if we go over here, I haven't set up any of my text styles yet. I was just really just getting this set up, and so maybe that's what we'll do right now. And for the people who are new to the game, who are new to Publisher, the key factors with anything, with any layout in Affinity Publisher, is that number one, you want to get a good grasp on your typefaces and how type works, and how text styles work, your paragraph styles and your character styles, and the difference between that, if you don't know, is character styles are what affect a particular like word or line, right? And then paragraph styles are anything that happens within a particular paragraph, and you can have the hierarchy of that, right? You can have a paragraph style, and then you can have a subset of a character style within a paragraph style. You can also have styles of like boxes themselves, and then have a paragraph style within a particular style of box, and then you have the character style on top of that. So you can have this hierarchy of all these different styles. I'm just going to come back over here into the chat box, make sure I'm not missing anything. I have to unload car and we'll be back. Okay, hello from Poland. Hey Thomas, sorry I didn't see you. Can you touch on fonts and licensing? Yeah. Okay, so I have a whole array of typefaces, and I don't have nearly all of them listed here, but you can see I've got quite a bit. And some of these are standard within the Mac situation or whatever, like these Hiragino, and you get into some of these Malaysian and Mukta Mahi and Mukta Malar. I don't know what these are. I think these are inherent for different languages, like Noto Sans and all this. I have no idea what any of these are. I wish I could not have them, and I probably could delete them, but I was so worried about deleting them that it might break stuff, so I didn't want to do that. But the beauty that I like about, the one thing I do dig a lot about Publisher, or any of the affinity stuff, is that when you go into your typefaces, right, I want to just go up here, I can select my ones, and then I've got the recent ones that I've used, or anything, or rather, recent that I've used in the past, right? The ones I've used currently within this particular document, and then my favorites, which I don't have any favorites listed, which is weird, because I thought I did. But I think maybe when I updated 1 to 1.9.1, it removed my favorites or something, I don't know. Or I just haven't added favorites here. I have added favorites on the other two apps, though. So. Now, so here's the thing about fonts and licensing. Like, you can go and download fonts for free at any, like, Duffont or 1001 Fonts, and you can get these free fonts. You know, sometimes the quality is okay, it's not great, and sometimes these guys, they'll put up like 1 or 2 typefaces of their full typeface, right? They'll put up 2 weights, like they'll put up regular and italic or something like that. But they might have, just like in Meet, like we did here with Futura, right? Why is it going there? That's not what I wanted. Futura, where is it? How's it spelled? There we go. When you go here to Futura, oh, this way. This is what I'm looking for here, right? It's got all these different weights, and that's not even all the weights that we need, right? But or that they have available. They have tons of different weights available. But so with the free fonts, the idea is that they give you 2 free ones to use as free, and you can use those freely. And technically, the license on those is that you're not supposed to use them commercially, technically. And then if you want the rest, you go and buy the rest of the typefaces. You go and buy the typeface and then get full license to use all those things. Now, let's talk about one company in particular. I'm just going to draw a new type box here. Typeface. I think I've got it listed. Let's see. I think I've got it as all caps. Now, if you haven't ever heard of House Industries, we're a prominent type foundry. They really kind of came up in the 90s, and they've been popular ever since. But they are, like, here's one of theirs. Fink is one of theirs, and I bought this a long time ago. You can see Fink bold, Fink condensed, Fink heavy. Let's come over here so you can see it. All these ones, Fink Sans, Fink, these are all theirs, right? I bought these. I also bought this one here, which is Flyer Fonts. This is a really old one of theirs, like one of their first typefaces, I think. Oh my gosh, it's not letting me select all. Anyway, it has all these different types of typefaces. These are supposed to be like punk rock flyer typefaces. And I use this kind of quite often. In fact, this one's kind of cool right here. It's called Disengage. And essentially what it is it's Helvetica, except it's like, looks like it's hand drawn, right? So they drew all the different letters, and then, you know, if I typed Helvetica, in fact, let's do this. Changes to Helvetica. It's bold. It's a little bit big, but you can see that it's essentially, and the kerning is or the tracking or whatever is definitely different. But that's Helvetica. It's Helvetica written like that. So I like that, because then I can go and throw in something like that on my designs. And Helvetica is one of my favorite typefaces anyway, and so I do this quite often. I use these two in concert quite often, but not today. Not today. So anyway, the reason I was bringing up House is that they, at least in the past, they were vigilant about people using their typefaces. Like, they were really, really vigilant. So if they saw their typeface on a particular poster, they would do their due diligence to check and see if the person who made that poster actually bought the typeface. And if they didn't buy the typeface, they would ask them to buy the typeface. They would go after it a little bit. And they have also, like, they've all even filed lawsuits against some bigger corporate companies for using their typeface in different places and a different branding that that company didn't pay for the typeface in the first place. Um, so yeah, so there's some companies out there that'll be super vigilant about that. So when you use them, you know, if you use something that's on your system that just comes with your computer, then you have all the rights to use that, because Apple or Microsoft or whoever is, you know, whichever system you're using, they have they bought into the license of those. So I can use Helvetica all day long because Helvetica is one of the main typefaces within a Mac system. And you know, so Helvetica, Palatino, Baskervilles, you know, some of those. These are the ones that they just come standard. Times New Roman, whether you like it or not. Garamond, you know, these you can use anytime. Arial, if you're on Microsoft, I've got Arial because I've got access to it. I don't use it because I hate it compared to compared to Helvetica. I hate it, but yeah. So if you are using a font that you got from somebody else, you know, you run a risk, right? You run a risk of, especially if it's something very particular, you run the risk of somebody being able to come after you for it if they see that you used it and you can't prove that you bought it. But you know, I mean, not a lot of people are chasing down. I mean, there's so many different typefaces out there. There's not a lot of people that are chasing down, you know, people for using type. Not a lot of foundries. Some, but not a lot. So, do I recommend using pirated fonts? No. Typefaces, for the very key reason that somebody went and made that design. They designed that typeface. They put it together. They put it out. They spent a lot of time and energy on that. As a designer, if you're going to be using it to make money on it, then you should be willing to pay the money for it. And I know some of these typefaces are crazy expensive, but yeah, you should be using those. Now, there are certain circumstances like Google Fonts. There's some really phenomenal Google Fonts out there, and you can use Google Fonts all day long. Those are free to use. They've put those out for the world, right? And they've had people design them specifically for that purpose. So, oh, you can't. Am I not? You can't see what I'm clicking. Oh, sorry, I can't. Sorry if it's not showing you what it's clicking. Hold on, let me do something. You can't see the screen? Hold on, let me see something here. I just want to test this. This is my first time doing a YouTube live while I was working on this scene. Did this not pop up? There's a slight delay, so I have to wait for it. Oh, that's so crazy. I just realized that I wasn't. So what I was working with is there's a drop down that comes from here, up here in the. So you can't see why isn't that showing my cursor? I just realized it's not showing my cursor. Oh, that is. Oh my gosh, guys! I didn't even realize. Why is it not showing my cursor? Let me see if that's something in my OBS. Bear with me a second while I try and fix that. Thank you for the heads up on that, Tomas. Output. Recording, audio. Huh. Maybe it's, let me see if I'm going to try a different type of window here. Hold on. That's not it. That's not what I want. Bear with me, guys. Oh, show cursor, display. There we go. Now let's see something. Oh, there we go. Okay, I figured it out. Okay. Why is it not working now? Can you see it? Hmm. Bear with me. Almost there. I'll just leave it. There. Okay. So I can see your screen in small box. I can see your fonts change. Okay. So this should work now. Holding on. Let's see. I'm just while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna go in here and add some favorites. I'll wait for you guys, or wait for it to. Is it showing? There we go. Okay, good. All right. I just had to wait for the delay. All right. Just went in and added some favorites. So now if you click on here, if I go here, if I go to my favorites, you can see I've got my few favorites already listed right there. And my used ones here. So you can see all that. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Thank you for the heads up, Tomas. I appreciate that. All right. Right on. Thank you. I didn't even think about that. I was just using a window capture versus like a display capture, and really I just want the whole display. So, and then we'll just go back and forth between that and the other thing, the Safari. Once in a while. Anyway, so I hope that answered your question. Basically, typefaces are essentially, like there's some free ones, free to use. You need to, some of them are free, but not made for commercial use. And if you want the commercial use, then you just go buy a license and probably get the whole font family, or buy single fonts, single typefaces within a font, single weights. You can do that too. Buy from type foundries. In fact, I highly recommend that you spend the money for them, because these guys work really hard. These people work really hard at designing these things, and they're not easy to make. At least good ones, like really good ones, are not easy to make. And so, yeah. Hey, what's up, Chad? What's up? I'm good, man. What's up? What was the David Woolery? What was the no to? Sorry, like my delay makes it difficult for me to know where what you're responding to. So this is what I look at. Oh dang, I'm on delay. Yeah, you're on delay, so I don't know. Anyway, it's like a 30-second delay. I didn't think it was that long, but yeah. That's the YouTubes. I think there's a way for me to. Let's see if I can change the. No, I can't change it after the fact. It will not allow me to readjust. I think we're good. Okay. Do you see the mouse now? Can't. The cursor should be showing. It's weird that it doesn't. Hold on. Let me look. Let me go to my. Let's go check my display here for a second. It's interesting. Super delayed. Sorry guys, I'm just I should have been maintaining this the delay so far behind? Oh, that's why. Guy. I don't know why I don't know what was going on with my. So I'm watching my playback also on my own. Like I've got one web browser here and I've got another web browser, and so I'm watching my own web browser, and I was like 5 minutes behind, and I realized that I'd somehow like not, you know. But you can see my cursor now, right? It shows you're good. Yes. Okay. Good. We're all good. Okay. All right. Back to work. Okay. So anyway, as you can see on the screen, you know, I've got the table set up, and let me just show you a little bit of so some things you need to understand with these is that, you know, it's a good idea to have your text frame up at the same time, but these actually there's actually one other. I need to table formats. Where is it? Where the heck is it? Hold on. Where the heck is it? It's off my screen somewhere. Where is it? Sorry. Oh my goodness. I got so many windows open right now. Oh. Where the heck is it? Sorry, it's trying to tell me that. Oh, here we go. That's what it was. I was like, this tiny little thing. That's not what I wanted though. Sorry, I was like, so when I split my screen, like I literally moved my program from one screen to the next, and when I do that, some of my palettes get left over here, and they're super small. So it's hard to find them sometimes. Anyway, let's go back here. I'm gonna go studio. What I want, not table style, table formats, but table. This is what I want. This one right there. This is what I want. Okay, so when I go in here, right, and you can see like all the different things, like it'll give me the details of whatever. And so there's the frame itself, right, and you can have a fill on the frame and a stroke on the frame, which is this thing right here. If I wanted to change my fill to red, it would change the fill. Now it's not going to be red because this document is set up as grayscale, right? So if I wanted a grayscale one, I could, right? I could change the whole frame, and that's changing the frame. And so even if this moves or whatever, the frame is always going to be the same. I don't want that, you know, not this time, right? So I can do the stroke. I can change the size of the stroke. I can change the inset of the whole table within that, right? Not the cell inset, but the inset of the table within the frame, right? That's all this. And you can ignore baseline grid if you do your, like, say you have your typefaces set up for baseline grid so that they snap to the baseline grid. And if you're not familiar with baseline grid, it's basically saying, like, I've got this grid and I want all my typefaces to line up on that grid, or whenever I type something in, lines up on that grid, so that no matter what, you know, my columns come in and my, you know, things that you've ever seen that where it's like, you know, like the lines from one column to the next are slightly off. You know, you don't want that. You want it to be set up on the baseline grid, especially in that circumstance, like especially in like a magazine where you have multiple columns on there. You don't want that. So, but here we don't really care so much about that. Here, that's not a big issue. It is almost aligned already, sort of, but as you can see, my typefaces need readjusting. Anyway, so stroke and fill is the column, or the rows or columns themselves. If I wanted to fill, like, so if I get in here, get in there, you can see my fill is this color right here. Actually, I gotta go like that. That's my color right now, is a 7% black right now, right? And then my strokes are all these different ones right here. These, so you can you can change the stroke if you want just the stroke. Let's say I just want to change the border parameters of these two blocks, I can change it that way. I can change it, the inner ones, I can change all of them. I can change just the bottom, just the top and bottom, the middle, which I don't have a middle here. All, you know, this way, horizontally, vertically, and I can change those all individually if I want to. And that's where it takes a lot of tweaking if you really want to get a very particular type of look at this, and you can be really creative and expressive with that. And then you have your, obviously, your cell sizes and your tolerances, like how much of an inset within that, because you can reduce these cells down as, you know, as small as you want, but if there's content in there, you don't want it, like, you don't want the lines, these lines bumping up against those typefaces, right? So yeah, and then so then you have your alignment, and this is your alignment within the page. So if I have this one here and it's set to middle, but I could set it to top, or I could set it to bottom, or I could set it to justification if I have multiple. So then it justifies within the whole column. And then your rotation, you want it that way, that way, that way. You can do that. We don't need any of that. And then again, we don't need baseline grid. So this is where you're going to want to have this one open if you're working with tables, just so you can have it going. And then of course you're also going to want to have maybe it's character styles, or your character settings, or your paragraph settings. Probably not paragraph settings, but maybe character settings, and then your text styles, which is what we're going to work on next. So I'm going to select this right here because I've already got this set up. This is exactly what I want it to be. I've already made my adjustments to my tracking, and I'm good with it because of the size. You can see the size is 8 points of Futura bold, and I want to create a type style on this. So if I go over here to my text styles, you have a couple of different options here, right? You have the paragraph style, you have a character style, and then you have group style. Don't worry about that one. And the thing is if I go, right, and I don't think this is going to necessarily apply. I could make a paragraph style out of this, and this would mean that it would apply to anything within that paragraph. I don't really want that, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a character style, and I click that to create a new character style. And you can see already, if I just go here to the character, it already starts showing that it's Futura, and it should be bold, and then it should be font size is 8. Font color set to black, and all this stuff is already aligned. I do want to go ahead and change the style name, so we're going to go ahead and change this to exercise list, which is the page that I'm on, and then this is just how I organize my stuff. Exercise list, and then I'm going to call this subtitle. Okay, and if I want to change anything else, I can go in here and change my position, like the kerning. If I want to go auto or manual, my tracking, I can even adjust, you know, like if I want to adjust it, you can see it's changing as I do this. I might take it down to like 5% just because I can create enough of there's enough room there for a gap, super subscript, baseline, leading, all these things. Not leading. Language, I'm not going to change any of that. Optical alignment, I'm still, this is one I haven't looked into too much, so I don't really know. I'm assuming it has something to do with how things are positioned on the page versus other things. So alternatives is if like you wanted to use ligatures and whatnot, or change different symbols, and then variants and all this other stuff, capitals. I don't no change. I don't want caps or all caps or small caps or anything like that. It should just be what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And also, this is important. That little box right there, apply style to selection. Okay, so if I click OK on that way it's now, you can see just by it being highlight that it's like that. So let's go down to this one here. Okay, you can see it's not highlighted, but if I change it, it changed a little bit. So let's go back that. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it. That word looks so weird. It looks like it's spelled wrong to me, but whatever. So it's not selected yet, but if I select it, you'll see that it'll adjust that tracking a little bit, just like that. 5%, not a lot, right? And I'm just going to quickly apply these to all the ones on the page, pages. So now that type style is applied to all of those subtitles. So if I wanted to go and change that, I could go, look, watch this. If I just go in here, double click, and brings it back up. If I wanted to suddenly just change my typeface to flyer fonts, or basketballs, or Old London, right? You can see it's changing on the fly. And, you know, that's if you decide to all of a sudden change, like, okay, we're moving to a different typeface, or that was the typeface we used last year, but we want to use the same format, so we'll just do that and just reapply the new typeface for this year, or whatever. You can do that. And that's why type styles are essential in things like this, because now, if I wanted to take this and just, like, all of a sudden decide to change all my typefaces to whatever, Helvetica across the board, or, you know, a Garamond or something like that, I have it available, and, you know, it's like that, as opposed to going in, clicking and changing, and clicking and changing, and clicking and changing. Excuse me a second, I thought I turned that off. Sorry, so rude of me. Closed all my windows and I don't know what you guys are saying to me. Hold on. Where are you all at? There we go. Okay. Cursor visible. That was me, 2 men. Okay. This is literally how I'm gonna work for the day, but I have no audience, just wicked ADHD. Okay. So, anyway. Now that I have this table set up, I don't need the table set up. Like, I don't think, well, right now, I don't think I need to tweak anything right now, at the moment. That could possibly change. In fact, I'm sure it's going to change because, again, this typeface is different size than this one, so I need to fix that. And that's going to be simple. Watch this. Okay. It's Futura medium, 8 points, same as the other one. Okay. I could even go in here to my character styles, and I could set my variances here to, again, let's say 5% on that one as well. Right? And then go back to the type styles, and then we're going to set up a new character style. And I'm going to, again, exercise list, body. Okay. And I did have it applied. Now, the reason I do this, so here's the funny thing about type styles in Affinity, is that they don't allow me to move them around. Like, I can't move this one over that one and that one under this one. It's all alphabetical. And I think I can rearrange them, but they have it set up so it's alphabetical. And so what I like to do is I like to organize them by calling them out, like, you know, where they belong in the document. So this is the exercise list, and so I'm keeping this in the exercise list, so that way I know, like, what page I'm on. I could just automatically just go to exercise list. These are all the typefaces within the exercise list, and they'll be intermixed too. Like, all the character styles are actually organized here, and then if I had paragraph styles, they would be going up underneath that one. You can see the little icon there is the paragraph icon, and then the type icon is right there. So now, so this one already has it applied. This one does not. But I'm going to go and I'm going to drag through all of these just like that, right? And I'm going to hit this. Boom, just like that. These all now have that type style applied. So click it again, select all, click that, select all, click that. This is where it will really start to show up. Here, all here. Right? You can see it really moving there. That simple. And again, if I wanted to, cancel this. If I wanted to change these, it would change everything on the fly. So that's pretty dang cool. That's pretty dang cool. I don't know. I mean, it's I get geeked on the little things. You know, this is one of the things that when I first figured this out, or when I first learned this, and even in any, like, whether it was Quark Express or InDesign or even now Publisher, like it's one of the tools that I use the most, especially when I'm building documents that I know that certain things are going to be consistent across the entire document. So I try to do this as much as I possibly can because it just makes my job so much easier. And again, like, if I decide to use this and apply this to, like, let's say I build this particular journal and I do it in this particular style, but say I want to do one that's a little bit more, you know, not using a modernist typeface, but more of like a traditional typeface, right? Like a you know, all serif typefaces. Well, then I can easily change this up. I can save as a new document and change it all up again. So, thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that. By the way, can you guys hear the music at all? I have a lightly gentle music thing going on in the background. I just wasn't sure if you guys can hear it. Excuse me while I consume mass quantities of coffee. I brewed an entirely new pot just for the purpose of this stream. Anyway, so moving on. So this page looks pretty good. Now, the way I test pages is, you can see my grid, or rather my borders all showed up. And I just click that window washer thing up here, toggle preview mode. Now, it doesn't, in other apps, it has that available, and in Affinity Publish or Photo and Affinity Designer, it has it available, and you can use it as a key command. And for some reason, I thought I had it used as a shortcut, but it's not set up, and I'm not going to set it up right now. But I recommend that you use that. You turn that into a shortcut, and you can do that by, I think it's in Preferences. Where are they at? Oh, here we are. Keyboard shortcuts. So you go in here and you find out where it is to show all that stuff, and you can change your menu, like Affinity Publisher, File. You know, these are the different file menus up top, and you go in, you can change all those. You can change your tools. You can change all that, right? And you have these, and you change your shortcuts. I highly recommend that you get these set up to what you're comfortable with, because some of the shortcuts within your app are going to be the same as what you're used to if you use Adobe InDesign, and some of them are going to be different. And if you prefer the way you work, then, you know, go through there and do that. I do this all the time. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's see. View mode. I'm trying to think what preview mode. I was wondering about where it would be in here. Huh. Split view? No. Don't want that. Don't need that. Single view. Oh, preview mode right there. Oh, so it does have one. Oh, okay. See, I knew there was something. Okay. So that's what is that? That's not shift, is it? I don't think so. Shift W? Let's see. No. Control W? No. Option W? No. It's not working. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Is it, oh, maybe it's function key? No. Oh, it changed. One of these worked. Oh, oh, it's control. It's control on the Mac. I don't know what the control key is on a PC. It's not the control key that you're used to, but a different control. So control W on a Mac. Oh, look at that. Good to know. I knew I had one, I just couldn't remember what it was. I thought it was shift or option or something like that. So control W. I relearn things all the time, guys. Anyway, so this page is pretty much done. I'm not going to put a type style on that because it is what it is. And actually, now that I think about it, let's just go ahead and change it to that. Nope. Oh, it didn't do it. Okay, sorry. We're going to do this. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to call that. We're going to make a paragraph style out of this one. So I'm going to make a paragraph style on this one, and I'm going to call this, now this I want to be consistent across the entire document. So I'm just going to type page headline. Okay. And of course it takes on, because I've selected this typeface, it takes on all those characteristics. And of course I want to apply style to the selection and click OK. And so now you can see, when I click off of it, page headline is up there. Now here's the thing. I could just click page headline and that applies it, and it looks identical, right? But what I want to do, actually, is I want to, let's come off of it. I want to duplicate this, right? But I want to call this page, and I'm going to put a date, right? Essentially, it's going to carry off, it's all the exact same characteristics, but this way now I know that it's just applying to the dates. Now, I am going to make some adjustments here. Now, I just put or underscores to create these lines. That's not the best way to do it, but that's just the way I'm doing it here. I'm not going to be doing that consistently, so we're just going to do it like that. So now I have this available, and I can just copy and paste that. What happened there? I can just copy and paste this bit anytime I want to put the date in there, because if I go back, well, when I do the logbook, I'm going to have a date for every single page. Yes, can hear you, and you're welcome, and this is Cool Fellow for Design Geeks. Right on. And of course, this will be a replay for anybody. And I think I might chop it up as well, so that way it's, you know, I cut out all the fluff. That'll be an exercise for sure, because cutting up what will probably be a 2 or 3 hour, maybe, live. That'd be fun. Anyway. So I think that's it. And I felt a little weird about this, let's see. I'm not sure why that happened. Change something here. Got some little incongruencies here. Just kind of going through my type just to make sure everything is up to snuff. Right there. Now I could do a find and replace on this. I did that actually for most of it before, but there's so few of them in here. I copied this list from something else I built a long time ago, and I built it different. So, yeah, anyway. So there we go. So we've got all our consistencies throughout. I wish I had more space, and this is for somebody if they wanted to add, you know, particular exercises to it. I probably was thinking that what I might do instead, I was thinking this at the time, but it's not going to work out. But it would be to add extra spaces to each section, and then just have that be like somebody could write it in if they want. But because of the way it all lined up, it was just like it's just not going to work out that way. So I decided to just put these at the end, and somebody can add them. There's never a perfect solution, right? Sometimes you just have to go with what's working. Right? So, okay. So now on to the next. And staring at a blank page can sometimes be intimidating. Let's talk about master pages for a second. I'm not using page markers, page count, page numbers at all, because for what our purposes here, it's not like somebody needs to go and reference a particular page. It's going to be the same thing through 90% of this document, right? It's going to be the logbook. And so if I was doing that, I'm going to use a master page in a second to do that logbook page, because then I'm just going to apply that master to all the subsequent pages here. But if I was building, like, say, a catalog or a book or a magazine or something of that nature, I would definitely have a master page that I'll have one set of master pages that was just completely blank, right? Because that way I could quickly just drop a blank page onto something that shouldn't be a blank page anymore. I also have a master page usually that would be just like the elements of the page that go on everything. So it's page numbers, if you have little markers on the bottom, like any kind of decoration, your web address or your whatever information that you have on the bottom, your titles, of the book or whatever, it would be just that. So it'd be mostly blank except for those things. And then I copy that, or rather, I build a second master page using that, like as a child. Like I would create a child master page of that one, and then that way all of those elements get applied to every master page after that, but then I can go and change the different elements within the master page, right? So we're not really doing that here because I don't have page numbers, I don't have any kind of decorations I'm going to put on this. I'm just going to put grids, right? So I'm just going to make a new one here. I'm going to keep that one blank because I still like the blank page thing, but I'm going to create another master. We'll call this log pages, and it's going to be facing pages. I keep the way it's highlighted, it always confuses me. It's not single, it's facing pages, and the margins, we're going to keep the same margins and everything else, right? It's essentially that. So now we're working on this, and these are our things. So the elements that I want on the page are just essentially a grid, just like I saw before on the other one, right? I'm going to put a grid like this. I'm trying to think about this. What do I need? I need space for the exercise, and then I need space for, let's see, a page for the day. Especially, we need the date, and we need the different exercises, and we need the different sets. So that way people can write in what they did for that set, right? Like how much weight they did per each set, and how many reps, right? So maybe it's some sort of split. So if I'm doing this on a grid, I'm thinking to myself, an extra space on the top. I'm just kind of working this out in my head. The main one has to have a little bit of a space so somebody can write this in, right? And then then I'm going to have 5 subsequent I'm just working this out. Hold on. So let's just say it would be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is right there. I'm trying to count. There's literally numbers right there on the side of the page. So we're going to bring this down here like this. Okay. And then I'm going to take this column and I'm going to split this column. Or not. What the hell? I thought you could split. Okay. Why are you not letting me? Okay. Where's my... There we go. That's another way to get to your tables setup or whatever. I thought it was a way that you could split individual cells. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to split, like I want to have this section stay this size and then have just split this one into 5 different ones. But let's go here. Table, merge, no. I don't want merge, I want separate. No. Huh. Okay, so it's not going to let me do it. All right, so then we'll do it the other way. We'll go it this way. We'll go, or not. Hello. Don't make a liar out of me. Why is it not working? There we go. Okay. Oh. So I need 1 and 5. Okay. But see, now these 5 all need to be reduced dramatically. How do I reduce them individually? Or as a group? This is new territory for me, guys. This would be different in Adobe InDesign, and that's where I'm most comfortable with it. Is it? No. This is sorry, this is let's see. Okay, so maybe I need to do it this way. Whoa! That was crazy. Okay. I think I may have figured it out. I don't know why it would do that way. It seems to be working like that. Now if I go in like this. Okay, so we're getting closer. Oh. There we go. And maybe I don't need it quite that much. Evenly distribute columns. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. That's essentially what I'm looking for right there. This is the basics. So this would be one, like you write in here, one exercise, and that would be set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5. And that's 10. Now, here's the thing though. I'm just doing that. I was doing that to build it, but I want to insert a row. Now we've got an extra one, and this is just going to be my my title row, if it'll let me. What is going on? Okay, character. There we go. Oh, still doing it. I'm just still doing it. Oh, because I got caps lock on. That's why. Regular. It looks like it's weird because it almost looks like it's. It almost looks like it's compressed. I'm not sure why. Whatever. For our purposes, let's go back to type styles. And I'm going to use. I'm going to duplicate that one. And we're going to call this log. Take that list off. Subtitle. Click OK. I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm just going to apply that to everything right now, just to get it out of the way. Why? It seems like everything has... That's weird. It shouldn't be that. Oh, there we go. So now it's working. Set 1. Nope. Oh. Why didn't that work? I'm trying to copy and paste right now. It's not. Oh my gosh. Driving me nuts. Command C. Oh, I hate you right now. Command B, Command B, Command B, and then change this to 2. And I'm just tabbing through these. When I hit tab, it jumps to the next frame. Tab. 4. 5. Now, you can see that the alignments towards one side. I want to change my alignment to center. And then I also want to make sure that I go in here and change my alignment to center alignment on the within the thing. So in fact, I'm gonna do that here too. Change it that way. Now I want this one to be over on the left hand side, not in the center. But there you go. So that's the basics. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to, I don't want to do this. I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to call it cardio. Now this doesn't apply to cardio. Let me go back to my reference one here real quick. Let's see what they did. Okay, so they did it differently. So I'm gonna get rid of one of these columns. I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna go. We're gonna say time, distance. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix all this in a second. Intensity. Now I don't know if I'm gonna use these exactly. I'm not a big fan of the idea of calories burned, but you know, some people might dig it. Okay, so now I'm gonna select all these and evenly distribute. There we go. So there we go. That's the basics. And I'll go through and I can tweak a lot of this stuff. Like for instance, this. That is not going to do. And I can also give myself a little bit of breathing room there for that one. I noticed that, where are we at? Okay. There we go. We got our grid established. Oh, but we do need, I'm going to bring this down, and if I insert a row, it inserts it above. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to merge all of these cells, and then this one I'm going to put date, right, and then I'm going to go back to that. Type style there, page date. But I'm going to align this one again. This one I'm going to put over here, and then I'm going to make sure it's on that. Might readjust the size of that one. Just a tad. Oh, see, got a little bit ahead of myself. So now what I need to do is go in here and just tweak the size of these. In fact, what I'm going to do, just to keep it consistent across, oh, that's why. Let's put that up. That's what happened. Okay. I'm going to bring this down a little bit down. So across all of these, I'm going to change this to everything, and I'm going to change it to what I had it on the other page, which is, it was 0.3. Okay. Same here. Select this one here. That selects every line in the table. And then change this to 0.3. I'm not totally stoked on the size here, so I'm going to come in here and do this. If it'll let me. If it'll let me. And then just redistribute evenly. Now I don't need this line up here, up top. So I'm going to come in here to this column here. It's going to let me select it. There we go. Now I want to get rid of the line on this side, on the top, and on the bottom. Now the easiest way for me to do that would be to adjust all four and then just go back in and replace the top one of this column, or this row right here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go nothing, and then I'm going to go here, right? And then I'm going to go look at that one right there and change that back to 0.3. And so what that looks like now is that. So there's no, it's still part of the grid, it's still part of the table, but there's no line around that one, and there is a line around this one. Now I could have also done, what I could have also done, and some people would do this, is they would continue this same table and then just kind of have a split and then change this one up. But I do like the aspect of, you know, doing this individually so that it's different. Why is it, you know, in fact, now that I think about this, these ones here are way too big, so I'm going to go back to regular on this. Actually, I'm just going to change it all to regular. So we're going to change it to medium. It's already 8. It's so tight. I'm just going to change that to calories, and they'll just have to figure it out. I don't know. I may even delete it completely because, like I said, I'm not fond of that concept of burning calories. Calories to me is a kind of inconsequential. Some people dig it, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's readjust. One more time. I have this thing about, like, it's like I want to, it's almost like I want to line these up. Of course I don't have where's my guides? There we go. Get in super meta tight. There we go. So now of course it's different. That's 5 and that's 4, but at least it's got this linear thing going on. Trying to check to see what you guys are talking about, so let's see what you guys are talking about. Anything? Nothing? Okay. You guys have any questions? Any thoughts? If anybody's even still in the room? I don't know how many people are actually here. But anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Give a shout out. Sorry for staring blankly. So that's good. I think I'm good for this. I may go in and change, you know, actually I'll do this. This is what I'm going to do. This one's a little bit, I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to go in. I'm going to loosen this one up a little bit. Give that some, change this back to medium, okay, to be consistent with what we got going on down there. I'm also gonna, I think I am gonna make this all caps. Go back here, make this one all caps. And this, I feel like it needs to be inset a little bit more on this side. So I'm gonna zoom in here just to see what I can come up with. And I don't want this connected, so I'm gonna disconnect it. And then I'm going to do that. 0.4. Do the same thing down here. If it'll let me. Come on. Maybe I'll just have to do it here. There we go. So that way it's a little bit off that wall a little bit. Why does this not look, it looks uneven. Oop. think it's just because time is such a much shorter word than these other ones. It just looks a little bit odd. Because obviously if I do that, it's already there. Huh, okay, alright. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm good with that. I might actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna do. I have this weird thing that I feel like I should like put like rep, like set and rep. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet, but for our purposes now, right now, I'm going to change the background of this column just to separate it. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do take that down to 7. That'll be consistent to something I've done in the front, and then I'm going to do over here. I'm going to do the same. So that's that. It's just a little extra something just to separate them two. And I feel like I want a little bit more distance here. Not too much, just in a little bit. I also feel like yeah. Just wanted a little bit more space right there between the box and the date. Now one thing I could do about that also is I have that set to center. I could always raise that up like that. I could have done that too. But that works for me. I am gonna do this. Add a little extra space in there, just cause. What about making time line up with set 1 at the top instead of centering in the box left adjust? Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that too. That's going to require it. I would have to align it, right? And then let's just see for her real quick. If I did that. That. So then I have to put a space in there, right? And then, or I could tab it. I could tab it out and set it in a tab, but that works too. Let me just see. See, now the thing about that is now there's this distance off of this side. So it's just gonna be a little bit wonky because of the, you know. The other thing I could do, so I'm going to go back, I'm not digging that, so what I could do instead, hello. I'm not sure why that was default for that other typeface, or the other type style, anyway. So that kind of changes it a little bit. Distance. Put the distance in there first, the time next. That way it kind of breaks up the continuity a little bit. That makes it a little less like, grr, it makes me feel weird. So I may go in and do some tweaking to this, but let's just say I don't. Let's just say I keep this as is. So now I've got this on the master page. I'm going to take these two and I'm just going to copy, and I'm just option clicking and dragging, right? Option shift to hold it in place, and then shifting to hold it in place. If I can actually get it to line up. There you go, snap correctly please. So now I've got my master page selected like that. And of course, I can go into this, all the way down here, and I don't think, remember how I had it set up. I think because you have 30, maximum 30, how many days? I want to have at least 32, so that would be, that's 4 and 5, so it's 32 plus 4 and 5, yeah. 36 and 7. There we go. I'm just going to do it like that. And then I'm going to apply masters. And I'm going to go master B, or log pages, to specified pages, and then replace existing, and go boom. Just like that. So now all of these pages now have that page applied, except for this one, which is just blank, which I might actually delete. I might actually delete this because I don't know, because I don't have any other content that I'm gonna follow this up with, because it's not like I need to have like explanation, or I might actually, you know what I might do? Now that I think about this, I might do a notes pages, and so I might add a couple more pages in here just so I have pages of notes. But I'm going to go back in and make sure that I have the acquired amount, because I may not need all the spreads all the way to that, so I'll go back in and check that. But I'll do a notes page, so we'll go back up here and just new one. We're going to call notes. Everything is the same, okay, and so then I'm trying to remember how I did the lines before. Maybe I'll just draw lines. I know there's an easier way to do this, but this is the way I'm going to do it right now. And let's see. Start at the 1 inch mark. Okay, I'm gonna start there. So you know what? Let's show grid. That'll be good. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Oops. Nope. So what I'm doing right now is I'm Option Shift dragging this one into the right space. Hopefully getting it right. And now I'm going to do Command D. Nope. What is duplicate? But that's what it was. What was duplicate? It is. Oh, Command J. Command J. Why isn't it working? Oh, okay. Let's do it again. Drag it here. Command J. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Don't mind me. Command J, all the way down. Right? So there you go. Simple notes page. I don't know why that one's. Oh, that I know why. Because it's probably got 2 in it. No? Yeah. That's what it did. It duplicated itself. Oh, I got it. I duplicated like 16 times. Yeah. Okay. Good. Maybe the left adjust matches the cardio. Maybe the left adjust matches the cardio placement. That is what is throwing me off of the center choice. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, good. So I don't need table anymore. So I'm just going to select this and actually no, take that back. Just create a text box real quick. Actually, I'm just going to do type and I'm going to go. Notes, lining the wrong way and stuff. Wrong typeface. I'm just gonna steal. I'm doing it over here for once. Bold. Nope. Bold. I'm not sure why one bold is different than the other, but whatever. No, I want it to be bigger. Just cause. No rhyme or reason. Just doing it. I'm such a geek when it comes to this stuff. Okay. Probably a little bit. Actually, this one. Make that all caps. And bring it down in size. Open it up. Tracking a little bit on that. Actually, instead, bring it down in size to where we at. 12. Let's make it 10. Yeah, why not? Looks good to me. So now I'm going to group this and then copy and paste, or Option Shift Drag. Make sure I have my grid on, or my just so. Oh my gosh. Let me get it just so, would you? There we go. Oh, oops. Oops. There we go. All right, so notes pages. All right, so let's say, just for our purposes right here, select these last three, go apply master, change to, please, let me do it. There we go. There we go. All right, so then we got this page, and then this one, and then this one. And I might not need this last spread, or maybe I don't need this last page or whatever. I'm just gonna double check and see how many pages I actually need. So I'll go back and do that. But this is basically, the interior is essentially done. The only thing I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do, whoa, hello, where'd I go? I'm gonna change this page. And that's gonna be based on, once I establish the cover, this will be established based on that. So there we go. I mean, that's essentially the interior. The interior is basically done. And this is good to go. And I could, I would double check my work, double check all my spelling and all that, and export this out as a PDF. And just show you what I would do here is, so if I was exporting this out as a PDF to give to the Kindle, to Amazon Kindle. Oh, hello. Go up to File and Export, and then I'm going to go PDF, KDP Interior Black. I already have this set up this way. 300, all spreads, except I don't want it all spreads. I want all pages. This is important. This is essential, okay? Because what I found is that I originally did this as all spreads, and when I uploaded that up into KDP, they're not making the adjustment based on spreads. They're making their assessment on the design based on single pages. And so I had a spread as set up as a single page. And what was showing in the preview was only the left side of my entire book, right? So it like just show the left side page of everything, and I was like, what is going on? It took me so long to figure out like why my whole book wasn't showing up. And that's because they're only looking for individual pages. So set it up as all pages and export it that. And that way it exports as individual, single sheets as opposed to spreads. And so you do that, export that, and then that's what you upload into KDP. But we're not going to do that yet. Well, let's go ahead. I'll just go ahead and export this one, and we can always go back and make sure you, I had a different name for this, but we'll call it Fitness Journal. I have all kinds of names for it. Strength Journal. And I'm going to call this Interior, because the cover is going to be different. We'll go ahead and hit save. And I'll resave this as that. Now save the document and I save the PDF at the same time. So you can change, I changed the name up here. So, maybe left adjust master. Okay, we already got that. Any other questions? Any thoughts on this? If not, we'll move on. I will check back in a second. Do-do-do. So now covers, KDP covers. I'm gonna open a new document, and I'm gonna keep the same constraint, well, the same sizing, except that when you design a cover for KDP, you design the whole cover, like you design it as a wrap, not one cover and then the back cover, right? You design the whole front and back as one document, and so it needs to be 5x8 by 5x8, or which would be 10x8, right? But then you also have to include the spine, and the spine is a little bit tough to. They have some calculations that you can run to figure out your spine. Because this is going to be so small, I know that the spine is probably not going to be any bigger than like 0.25. So I'm going to just make my size to my width, which would be 10.25 by 8 inches tall. And then it's only going to be 1. Let's change it to 1. Prefer linked. Don't need facing pages on this one because we're just creating the one page. It is definitely going to be, now here's the thing, RGB works better on Amazon KDP. It just prints better, it looks better. I don't recommend using CMYK. It's nuts, because you would think that, like, what, it's printing. No, but their printing is like the same type of printing that they use for like direct to garment stuff. Right? It's that type of RGB printer. So use RGB as opposed to CMYK. And I personally like the display P3. Personal preference. Don't need a transparent background. I will keep the margins, and I will also have an 1/8 inch bleed all the way around. You're definitely going to want to bleed. Unless your design just happens to not need a bleed, you're going to bleed with a white background with type on top, so be it. Oh, and could you guys even see that? I don't even know if you guys could see that while I was doing it. I don't think you guys could see that. Let me do that again. Because I had the box over here for some reason. So let me do that again. So I'm going to go new. Right? Sorry guys, it was over here. This is what sorry. So I have it as, whoa, that's crazy. 10.125. Oh, that's what I was wrong. Inches, right? Change that to inches. 300. There you go. Preferred link. Linked versus embedded means if you have images, for my purposes, it doesn't really matter, because I could go either way. It means it links to an image versus like saying worked on embedded. The beauty of embedded is that when I'm working with that and I go and I switch between the studio of the the different personas, between the up here at the designer persona or the photo persona, it works a lot quicker that way. It just works faster as opposed to linked, right? But linked would be, like I'm not actually working on the image, it's actually over there, and I'm just referencing it. Embedded is, it's actually on the page. So I'm going to go embedded for this one. Again, personal preference, because we're only doing the one page, I'm not too worried about it. If I was building a multi-page document with images on every single page, or multiple pages or multiple images on that, I would definitely do linked, because anything you put embedded into the document is going to start weighing that sucker down. So default master, don't need facing pages, all that's the same, create. Okay, so now this is the cover. One thing I do want to do, I don't need to work on the master, but I am going to work on columns. I was wondering if I couldn't remember if I could put columns on this without. No, I think I have to go in here. Where is it? Studio. Where is it? Sorry. Itchy nose. Oh, I know it's here somewhere. Oh, grids and guide. That's what I was looking. Grids or guides manager. This is what I need. I want two columns, one row, a gutter of. I'm just gonna go 0.2. Yeah, 0.25. 0.25. Now this is for my to compensate for my spine. Of course, you can't see it, but there we go. Okay, so there we go. So now I've got a spine. This is my spine, and I'm just going to put that in the middle there too. Put a guide in there too, and then I'm going to put another one here at half point. There we go. And then 5. Come on, get it. Almost got it. There we go. All right, so this is my. In fact, I don't even need that. If you hear screaming in the background, it's my child over there. Oh, that's weird. That didn't work out right. Oh, that's why. Okay, this is where it needs to be. There. There. Nope. There. There we. That doesn't look right either. What the hell? Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna get meticulous about this. Point. There we go. Okay. And then. So what I'm doing there is I'm dragging the guides. If you guys don't know about this, I'm dragging from here in the corner and dragging this down. And what this is it's replacing the 0 point. And the 0 point of the document is going right there. Right? And so now, anytime I move anywhere, so if I bring a guide down, that's my 0 point, right? And anything away from that, right? Or this way, that's my 0 point. And then I'm coming out here to 0.5. And I can also click on this, and I think I can adjust that myself, like, or I can go up into my guides manager. Guides, where is it? Go back here, guides manager, and I can change. You can see my guides are in here like that. Right? And this number right here is based on the 0 point at the moment. Now, if I want to go back and change the 0 point, I just double click, and it goes back to 0. So now the 0 point is up here, right? It's up there, right? That's where it is. So here's the cover. And so now this is the front cover and this is the back cover. And the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that there is going to be essentially like a box right about here. Let me reference that. Hold on. So this is the book I made prior. This is a daily gratitude and goals journal that I made earlier in the year, and you can see right here they're going to put this barcode on there for you, so you have to compensate for that. So that's why we have that, and I'm just using this as a reference. They'll put this in there, but that way I know not to put anything in this space. I want to make it a big red box. Do not touch. And I will delete that before. In fact, I'm going to make it super big so that I know. Nothing important in there. I can put art behind it, but I need to understand that art is going to be blocked if I put it behind there. As you can see, you can see I designed the whole cover, and then it obviously covers up whatever there. So I just don't want to put anything there. So I am going to come over here. I'm going to copy this and bring it over here. I have that, going back to that idea of kind of found the Blue Note Records style. Now, if you weren't here for that portion where I was talking about that, let's go back here. Hold on. Change. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Why isn't it showing up? Hold on. Struggling. Where's my... Hold on. Where's my... It's not gonna let me do this. I closed my window, and now because I have a dialog box up, it's not... Let me see it. I can't see it. Anyway, well, okay, so I was going to change my view, but for some reason now it won't let me do it. Dang it, I'm kind of bummed. Hold on, let me try one other thing. No, that's not going to do it. There we go, okay. There we go. Sorry. That, I'm going to bring that up here. Oh, I know what I need to do. I just need to bring... Oh, did I close it? There we go. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. I came over here for a reason. Oh yeah. So here's my Safari. Okay. This is Blue Note Records design, like a lot of their albums, right? And I'm a big fan of Reed Miles. He is the main designer he was for several years, and I just really dig his style. And I thought, I'm going to do something very Reed Miles-ish. And so as you can see, like here, how he works with type like that, moving it around like that, kind of staggering the type. He's got everything based on the grid, and it's just so cool the way that looks. So, so we're just going to do that. But first things first, what I want to do is I want to find myself an image that I can reproduce or edit and whatnot. So let's just say I want to do weight training. Let's see what I come up with. I don't want anything too like obvious. Like I just wanted some dude that just looks like just totally yoked like that. This is so obligatory. It's like I don't want that, but I also don't want something that it's like like no fault of hers, but she's she's not like she doesn't look like she's really pushing it, right? I want the idea of pushing it without looking like a maniac, like this guy. Nope. Right? And I also want something that I can use that that I can easily use without like I can kind of get rid of the identifying factors of the person on the page, right? Like this guy's not too bad, but he's got that big logo on the shirt, and I don't like that. I could obviously Photoshop it out. This one's not too bad either, but I'm also looking for something that almost like cross-gender, like I want it to be, I want somebody to see it both male and female, to represent strength, but not necessarily one gender over another. And so it's just like, and by the way, if you're working with Unsplash or one of these other ones similar to that, sorry for some of the illicit imagery here, but like say Pixabay or what are the other ones that where it's like these are essentially free to use, and there's no commercial license necessary, or there's no license necessary, but I believe that if you're going to use them commercially, you need to change them quite a bit. So That's kind of cool. But I wish it was vertical. Not that I couldn't work with it. In fact, I could work with it. So that's definitely an option. I'm going to go ahead and click that one. I'm going to go ahead and download it just in case. Now, you don't have to give credit, but it's a good idea to give credit in the book or wherever you use it. And I don't want anything yoga or, like this kind of fitness. I definitely want something that looks like somebody's lifting weights. Like this one's actually pretty good. If he wasn't wearing those headphones. Another thing you can do is you can always come in here and click on it and then go and say, oh, there we go. There we go, right there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let me just scan just to make sure. That's a good one too, but that one's good. It's a little dark. There's not a lot of definition in that photo. This one definitely is good because of all that. It's got good highlights, so this is the one. This is definitely the one right here. So I'm downloading that one. Bear with me while I go track it down. We're in Fitness Journal. Okay, here we go. All right. So now back to here. Let's move that like that. So I'm gonna go find it. Right there. And then bring it in. Actually, I take that back. So now here's an important thing about imagery, right? Tiago, what's up? Any playlist recommendations for getting your workflow going? Hey, so here's the thing. I mean, I've got a lot of different choices. It just depends on my mood. But there's a guy on Spotify. He's also a YouTuber. He was a YouTuber and he's a Twitch streamer. He plays games. His name is Harris Heller, Heller. And he has a bunch of music that's available for free to use, free to listen to. Obviously, if you have Spotify, you got it. But you can also go to his Discord and get the downloadable stuff for free and just use if you wanted to. And the beauty of that, and it's actually what I've got playing in the background here, if you can even hear it. But the beauty of his music is that he set it up so that there is no DMCA, meaning there's no copyright that will ever be applied to you. So I can be streaming his music while I'm doing this live and I can replay it and he will never put any kind of copyright strikes against me, and I can even monetize against it and I will never get demonetized by it because he has put his music out there for that exact purpose. So it's free to use, free to stream. And need to recharge my mouse battery soon. Anyway, so it's free to use, free to stream, and that way, you're not going to get hit by any kind of legal issues. So, Harris Heller, not Harry, but Harris, RRIS. Check him out. He's up. You can also find him on YouTube as Alpha Streaming. Hold on, let me double check that. Let's double check that, shall we? Alpha Gaming. Alpha Gaming. You go to Alpha Gaming on YouTube, you could see him. But yeah, so he has that available for you to use for free. You can stream with it. You can put it up on Twitch. You can put it anywhere. Facebook Live, Instagram Live, wherever. He's got it set up so that you never get knocked for that. And the beauty of him is that he's making money off of it. Every time you stream, he makes money. So it's so it's a win-win for everybody. So it's pretty low-key stuff. You know, it's pretty low. It's meant to be, you know, played in the background kind of stuff. And so I'll often just put it on and just roll with it. If you're looking for something more high energy, I just put out a quote unquote rock album. I haven't listened to it because when it comes to rock, I like my rock a little bit, you know, more rock, a little bit more punk, you know, and it's not going to be necessarily great for streaming, right? So, Alpha Gaming, yes, exactly, Tiago. Yeah, it's open source in the sense that it's open to use, but not to be reproduced. I don't know if he has that, like you can use it and like if you're a music producer and you wanted to, you know, sample it and remix. I don't know, he might be open to that. I bet you he would, as long as you gave him credit for it, right? Um, so let's anyway, going back to the imagery, I could just easily go Command Shift M, and that would bring it up, and I could just bring it in. And what's going to happen is it's going to bring in just the image itself. Let's do it just for our purposes here. So I'm going to bring it in, and I'm just going to bring it in there like that. Where's my layers? My layers. Where are my layers at? Oh, there we are, down there, way down there. I don't use layers in here very often, but so I got my layers. The thing is, though, is that this is just an image, and if you go over here to the sidebar to the tools, you can see you can bring in, you know, a picture frame, an ellipse picture frame, or you can bring in just a place image tool, which is essentially what I just did. Just by hitting Command Shift M, I've essentially placed an image. The problem with that is that I can't natively, as I bring it in, I can't adjust the frame to, you know, it's going to squish and pull and all that. What I need to do if I bring that in is I have to go and scroll down and convert to picture frame, right? And so now, I'm still doing it, but I always do this. There we go. I have to double. Oh, see, it's still not doing it. What the heck? Oh, that's what it is. So bring it in there like that, and then I can readjust as I see fit, or resize like that. I don't know what it is about that. Sometimes when I first converted to a picture frame, it still wants to constrain and hold on to it. I don't know if I want to go all the. Oh, where's my guides? There we go. Okay, so quite hit my. Oops. Bring that over here and come to that. What I'm going for here is I'm gonna put a small stroke around this frame, enough to see. Take that down. Change that to 40. I don't even know why that's important here because I'm not doing a CMYK output. This is a standard CMYK black. Change the stroke to 1. And then bring this up. See that's much darker. I want to make sure is this black. Okay, so that's the black I actually want. Just to be consistent, because you can see now this probably come through in the wash, but as you can see, like as I get in super tight here, you know, these blacks are different. So I go click on that and go back here, and I'm just going to go and drag that down in here to the color, I don't know what you call that thing, color stripe, bring it all the way down, and now you can see that the blacks are congruous. They're consistent. I'm gonna line that right up like that, because that's exactly how lame I am. think I'm gonna change him up a little bit. It's not as impressive at that size. So I'm gonna come bring him up in size. I'm not even caring so much as that he's coming off of the outside the edges. In fact, I probably want that a little bit just to create some dynamic aspect to it. Push his elbows outside the frame a little bit. Bring him down there. Or maybe not. Maybe that isn't good. Now I'm just looking for consistency across that space there versus that space there. I'll change this one to white. And I think I'll yeah, I think I might keep it pretty simple. I might add a little bit of a background color. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's trying to see if you could do. I guess not. So in photo, you can do like a fill layer. And I don't see that. Did I miss it? It doesn't have a new fill layer. I wish it did, but you don't. So I'll just have to do it this way. So I can create a box and essentially but I'll take this way down. Make it a little bit yellow. A little bit red, and then change that to move down there. Nope, nope. Move down there. Oh my gosh. There we go. And maybe I'll change the color. There we go. I'm gonna work with the colors. I'll play around with the colors on that. I'm gonna get rid of that because it's really bugging me. That was there just for placement to see where the UPC code would go. Dude, you're awesome. Greetings from Colombia. Hey, thanks so much. Sorry I can't read your name, but I'll definitely watch this later tonight. Yeah, I'll have it available for everybody. We're going all the way through this. And one time it's at 2:09. I'm probably going to go for a little bit longer and design this whole thing. And then maybe even if, well, I'm not sure I'm going to get it all the way up into KDP because I just want to make sure I cross all my T's and dot all my I's before I do. But, yeah. So, and I might keep it as simple as this and just let it ride, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's weird. Why am I getting that weird little? What is that? Huh, I'm not sure what that is. It's just a glitch in the matrix. So now that if I do that background that color, I'm obviously going to have to change this one to that color too. Not obviously, but I will. I'll do that. It's easy to do. I think I may beef that stroke up just place it on the inside. Yeah, inside. No, I want behind. front. It doesn't need to be super interesting and well, I want it to be interesting, but it's not like I need this to be like a super compelling design. It just needs to be enough to get, like again, this is mostly, I'm doing this for my purposes more than anything else. And just in case anybody else wants to pick one up, they can. So one way, by the way, if you're ever looking to figure out how to track or adjust your tracking or your kerning, and you're not quite sure, like one rule that I learned from one of my creative directors is take a look at it and just kind of squint through it. And if you see, sorry, paramedics going by, just squint through it, and if you see any, as you're squinting, if you see any like gaps that kind of jump at you, those are the ones you need to kern. That's why I make this really weird looking face. The one I see is right here. And what I'm doing this, what I'm looking for is like imagining if this is my perfect space. That's the space I want perfect across all. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to do that here. This is a really awkward combination of two letters. Sometimes you just got to suck it up. But that space should be consistent there or here, And if you wanted to be super meticulous about it, you could go in here and do something like this. I've done this many, many times before. Draw a box, get a box. Oh, what is it doing? I don't want to stroke. No stroke, but the color is, let's make it something. What is going on here? Stroke, no stroke, just want the color. There we go. So I create that box like that, right? And now I can take this and just kind of like, if I moved it, let's do another one. Just, we're going to do an angle. If you wanted to get that, see, that's pretty close, right? You got the tightest part. Look at that, and I eyeballed that. That's how good I am. Right. So that was a little. That's probably a little bit too much. Oops. That's about as good as it's going to get right there. And I just go through that and do that thing, right? That space there. Actually, it's this one that I'm more concerned about because that's visually the one that, that looks like it's good. This could be tighter. If you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that much into it, then be into it, right? And I just opened that one up because I wanted it to look like it's like almost like touching, like if these two, this axis and this axis came together, it would create a point, right? An equal lateral point. So again, this one, weird, so weird, that's good. So that one's, see again, this one is, it's weird. Normally I should adjust that, but because that A has got that gap so much, if I adjusted it, it would look, in fact, I'm prone, you can see on that, right there on that R, make that consistent. Like I'm almost prone to come in and tighten that one up a little bit. Maybe not, because then it's like, if I'm gonna have this space, it needs to be consistent across both of those. Just from an eyeball standpoint, That's close enough to me for me. That was a little tight. I'm gonna open that up. And again, this is probably way more than most people do. Now again, I'm not going to adjust this one because even though it's tighter than it should be a little bit, because of this huge gap up here and up here, I'm not going to fix it. And that N is so big already that that's pretty good. I think that one's good. I'm already guessing that one's about the same as the other one. Yep. Now this one definitely needs some adjustment. Now the thing about E's is that this E up here probably is different than the bottom one. Usually it is with typefaces, but maybe not. But I always adjust here because the bottom extender or whatever of the E is usually the one that sticks out further than any others. And on the F, it's the top one, obviously. I'm going to leave that as is. That's almost dead on, and that's pretty much dead on. Oh, let's go down here. I'm going to leave that one. The O's and the G's again. They're so big. Keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay, so that one's a little tight. I probably could be okay with it, but I'm going to open it up just a tad. So that's pretty much it. And just make sure if you do that, you get rid of that thing so you don't have it. So there you go. That's that. That's pretty much it. Now, if I wanted to add some information on the back, like maybe on our website or something like that, I could put it back here and throw that in. I could also do it in the interior, and put it in there somewhere. Hey, if you want more information or whatever. But I'm not really interested in that. I just really, again, this is mostly for my purposes. And if anybody else wants to get it, they can. But yeah, so there you go. This is my interior. If anybody didn't see it. Strength training and tracker logbook. And this one is actually going to change. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to bring this in. Copy it. And paste it. Okay. And then change this to white. I'm just going to leave it just like that. And that way, if somebody wants to, somebody open it'll basically look the same. I may come in here with something to make this a little bit more interesting. I'm not sure how I want to do it. Maybe I want to change the color. I don't know. I'm going to do some research on color, and we'll just leave it like that for now. But I'll do some research on color. Just to be consistent, because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't do this. And yeah, I think we're good. I think we're solid for now. Between this cover, simple cover, and then this interior, I don't need that anymore. That's extraneous. That's extraneous. You don't even need to know what that says. And these are my log pages. This is my exercise pages. These are my log pages. I may come in and make some adjustment there, and if I do so, I'm going to do so on my master pages and make the adjustment that way. I may add some little details just to kind of spice it up a little bit. All the way down to here, where I've got a few note pages, just in case somebody wanted to write something else. That's pretty much it. That's a 40-page document right there. Well, technically 44 if you count the cover. 44-page book that will soon be available on Amazon KDP before the weekend is out. Well, I say that. Sometimes it takes like 72 hours or more for them to approve or disapprove something. So it'll be up on the KDP before the weekend's done. Whether it will be available for purchase or not is a whole other thing, but soon. So if you, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I think we're gonna do this, and if you did want to see me do the whole KDP thing, I will put a link to the video in the description of this, because I have done that in the past, so that way you can see that. And if you want me to go more detail into the whole KDP thing in the future, leave a comment below. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed that, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe, because I mean, the only thing about subscribes is that I'm finding is that it's not like YouTube is going to push my stuff out to you just because you happen to subscribe. It's just one of those things where if you want to see more of this content, then you'll know that you can see it, because it's going to be there in your subscriptions. So unless you're super diligent and want to hit that bell, and that will definitely tell you when I post new stuff. And I post stuff every week. So I've got this channel, and I've got my secondary channel, which is also linked down below, or will be linked down below. And this one is more the nuts and bolts, where I do the detail stuff like this, and then the other one is more about the exploration of my creative pursuits and the different things I want to try and attempt to, so that I can talk about it with other people. Anyway, enough of me yammering. Thanks very much. If you do have questions, go down below, leave them in the chat, leave them in the comments, and I'll see if I can get back to you on that. Or maybe we'll do another video about something you bring up then. And that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks very much for hanging out. I really appreciate you. I'll see you next Friday. Remember, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See you.